Okay, hello everybody. Hello, and welcome. How is everybody today? I hope the answer is good. I'm Darkside Phil, and welcome to another big, huge new release day in the busy fall gaming season of 2017, ladies and gentlemen. That is correct. If you're not aware, today is October 12th, 2017. And I got two gameplay streams for you on schedule here today. Some pretty good ones, alright? First off, we've got more Shadow of Mordor. And if you've been following along the playthrough, you'll know that I've been doing an interesting balance between kind of advancing the story as much as I can, and also doing the side content of the game. I've been going around looking for some of the collectibles, such as the hidden elven words, to open up the doors that have legendary loot behind them. I have been raising an orc army. All yesterday, this was, part of the focus of my session, was to get the best orcs I could to mass an army and take over certain forts and take over territories in the game. So I've actually taken over 2 territories. I'm very close to being able to take over a third in this game. And then continuing on to see how it goes, as I keep continuing to take over the territories. I don't actually know how long this portion of the game is, but I am enjoying the story and everything that I'm doing in the game. It's pretty good. So today will be more of this. 4 more hours of a balance, again, between the story and raising my orc army and taking over territories in the game. So I hope you're excited for that. I'm sure those of you who've been here all week watching me play this game are excited for that. Those of us who don't buy into the hype of negativity, of drama, and all this shit. Those of us who don't believe everything they hear, or everything they're told, I guess I should say, from people who see themselves as big YouTube figureheads and gurus who must tell you what to play and what not to play, and what's good and what's bad, and what's a business practice that you should support and what you shouldn't. Listen, I completely agree that there's a slippery slope when it comes to loot boxes in video games, but I've already played Shadow of War for 12 hours. I have not been affected by these whatsoever. I've been having a good time with the game. So I guess my question here would be, why in the holy hell are people boycotting this game and or treating it with such a negative hand, a negative spin, when in reality, you could play this entire game for hours and hours on end and never be affected by this one thing that people are saying is so bad, okay? It's because people don't look at the things for themselves. They just believe, believe what they're told. And so people are saying, oh, well, wait till Phil hits Act 4. Guys, I'm 12 hours in. I'm still in Act 2. So let me give you some perspective here. 12 hours in, I'm still in Act 2. It's probably going to take me upwards of 20 hours to get to Act 4. So you're telling me 20 hours of fun, great gameplay for a modern retail release before you hit a part of the game where you may be tempted to buy a loot box? That's a bad thing. Let's just write off all of that great experience and fun that you had before you hit the grinding Act 4 because a YouTuber told me to. Okay? And that's the problem. Is that people just will write everything off because there's one thing negative at the end of the game. Let's just write off all the positive experience of the early game. Now, I don't believe in the loot crate or the loot box system. I actually disagree with that. I think it's stupid. Okay? And I've said, I'm not going to be paying extra money to be finishing this game and getting the true ending of the game through loot boxes. I'm not. So if I can earn the stuff through in-game currency, great. If not, I guess I'm just grinding or dropping it. I don't know. One or the other. And honestly, my final thought, about the game, my review of the game, whatever you want to call it, I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to review it, but my final thoughts about the game will be very honest and matter of fact after I've gotten to this part of the game that supposedly the loot boxes affect it. But my point here is that I've been playing this game since Monday night and have not been affected by loot boxes. I love it. It's great. It's better than the first game in my opinion. Things are streamlined. Things are more fun. There's more interesting abilities. The Nemesis system is improved. Everything's been improved. So let's write all that off because there's loot boxes at the end of the game, right? But I mean, that's it. That's the modern era. That's the modern era of drama, folks. Let's stir up drama to get attention for ourselves. So this week, a certain group of YouTubers all had their balls kissed all week because people were like, oh, thank God these people speak the truth, and they get hundreds of thousands of views for it and made a ton of money on it. And let's face it, that's why they did it. Rather than being honest and be like, oh yeah, by the way, there's a good 20 to 25 hours of great gameplay before you reach the loot box system. Instead, all anyone's talking about is don't play Shadow of War because the game has loot boxes. Whatever. I've already voiced my opinion on this a million times, okay? I like the game. I don't know what it'll happen at the end of the game. Maybe my opinion will change, but this is my opinion up to now, okay? Alright, so that is it. Shadow of War on my first gameplay stream. Now, folks, later tonight I am doing a second stream, but it's not the usual time. My usual second stream starts around 7:30, 8 p.m. Tonight, my second stream will start around 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. Why? I'll tell you why, folks. I'll tell you why. Because tonight is the big premiere of The Evil Within 2, which actually I already have pre-installed here on my PlayStation 4. I'm ready to go. It unlocks at 9 p.m. my time, so we'll start the stream around 8:30 and do some countdown hype, just like we did with Shadow of War earlier this week. My gameplay stream will be about 2 hours. Alright, about 2 hours of Evil Within 2 tonight to get a good taste of it. And then tomorrow, I'll be playing the game all day long, double streams, one at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, much like this one, and then one later in the day around 7:30 p.m. Okay? Sound good? So, there you go. That is the plan. And then this weekend, yes, I will be heavily focusing on The Evil Within 2. I may get back to Shadow of War for a stream here or there. And then I'll be balancing the games. Of course, next week we've got South Park The Fractured But Whole. So now we've got a triple threat, a trifecta of brand new games I'll all be juggling. Okay. It's going to be fun. It's going to be challenging, but it's going to be fun. And I'm very much looking forward to it. I hope you guys are too. Fair enough? So that's what you can expect. All right. Very nice. I want to say thank you to everyone who's already here on stream. I appreciate that. I hope we have a good time with Shadow of War today, and I hope to see you all tonight for the Evil Within 2 premiere. Okay. Now, let's talk very briefly about a few things. Number one, I have finally updated my Patreon, folks. It only took me 12 days. I knew what the Patreon goal was going to be for like the past 8 days, 9 days, but I just didn't get around to updating it until today. So yes, I've updated my Patreon. What is the goal this month? If we hit the funding level on my Patreon at patreon.com/darksidephil for this month, I will be doing a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds Marathon in November. That's right. The game that's the hottest game on PC right now. The game is the most played game on Steam. I think at one point it had 2 million concurrent players. What the fuck? That's insane. Okay. I'll be doing a marathon of this game in late November. Now, if the game is released in time on the Xbox One, which is rumored that it's supposed to come out on the Xbox One by the end of this year, then I will play it on the Xbox One. I think that would be a good experiment for the console version of the game. But if it's not available, then I will be playing it on PC. Okay. I will be streaming it and playing it on PC for this marathon in late November. And what I'll do is then I'll have Twitch auto back up that stream, and I will split that stream up into segments that I can upload to YouTube. Let's say half an hour long segments. So if I'm doing, let's say it's a 6 to 6.5 hours of gameplay, right? That would be like 12, 13 videos to upload to YouTube of just the raw gameplay split up from the stream, okay? So that should be good. I'm looking forward to that. Listen, everyone says PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is a fun game. It's the best Battle Royale style game out there, apparently, from what people are saying. You know, I did play Fortnite Battle Royale, and people were saying that's okay, but that PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is better. It's got more to it. Vehicles and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, makes me excited. Makes me excited to check it out, okay? I guess we'll see. The people in the stream chat are saying it is the best. A good RPG, it is the best one. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, I just got a text from my local Mexican restaurant. They're having a hot 2-for-1 sale on tacos. I signed up for their club, where every time you have dinner there, you put in your phone number, and then they give you points, and after a certain amount of points, you get like a free dinner or whatever. And now they text me like once a week to tell me about Taco Tuesdays and their deal. That's pretty funny. Out of nowhere, I thought it was something important. I'm like, oh shit, it's an important text. Oh, it's Azteca Mexican restaurant. Okay then. Okay. Okay, everybody. So anyway, please check out my Patreon, patreon.com/darksidephil. Keep in mind, it's not just about pledging to hit that monthly goal. You also get personal perks. For example, you can get text or verbal thank yous in my videos. You can get your questions answered on my bi-monthly show, Ask the King, which, hint, hint, it's coming up in 2 weeks, actually. 2 weeks from today. The next episode of Ask the King will air, so people who actually have pledged to my Patreon in the past couple of months will be getting their questions answered on that show. That should be fun. Especially amongst all of the hype here of the hardcore gaming season, I'm sure people are going to have questions about stuff going on in gaming and stuff for that show, so that should be a good one. In addition, you can get a private Q&A video made. This is the highest level perk, and people love this perk. Everyone who's ever gotten it have told me that the questions that I've answered for them have been, you know, it's great. I go above and beyond. I really try to answer the questions in as entertaining and informed a manner as I can, and usually I end up saying, oh, the video will be like 15 to 20 minutes long, and then they all end up being like 30 minutes. But I digress. The perks are good. Please check them out. Patreon.com/darksidephil. Those funds, I've come to depend on them because they help me do things like pay the electric bill, pay the internet bill, which is exorbitant here, to have unlimited data cap internet. Unlimited non-data cap internet is what I should have said, because Comcast has data caps. If I had normal Comcast internet, I wouldn't be able to do this for a living, because the data caps would be so exorbitant. I'd be paying thousands of dollars for internet, so I have to pay for this business class internet that's really expensive. Helps pay for the cost of games, helps pay for everything, okay? So please, check out my Patreon, alright? Now, in addition, there's also my Teespring. On my Teespring, you can buy DSP-themed merch, okay? Including t-shirts, sweatshirts, and hoodies for the fall now that it's getting colder. Mugs, stickers, all kinds of stuff. Awesome, different themes. You know, you got the manga DSP, you've got the I Hate Skeletons, you got the classic skull logo. You've got the I'm Pressing Buttons logo, which is good for my fighting game coverage. You got a lot of stuff on my Teespring. Please give it a look, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet. There it is, teespring.com/stores/DSPGaming. Anything you buy, I get a pretty decent commission from, and it helps me out, so please consider giving it a look. Alright, and then last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, if you are here on the stream and you enjoy that I do daily live streams, you're enjoying the hardcore gaming season coverage that I'm doing already, and you're hyped for all the new game coverage that's coming up in the next few months, alright? And, you know, you feel like, wow, I'm hyped and I want to cheer or sub or tip me during the stream. That is much appreciated, and if you do any of those things, I will be giving you a verbal thank you shout out during the course of today's stream, okay? Now, if you tip me $2 or more, if you cheer 50 bits or more, or if you sub to the channel and click on the share button, okay, I'll actually be having a pop-up notification on the screen as well. And these are special notifications that were made by Dr. Zombius, longtime fan and viewer, so I gotta give him another shout out. These are Halloween horror themed for the month of October, including all kinds of skeletons chasing me down and stuff, which is pretty funny. I like them. I really like them a lot. So again, thank you to Dr. Zombius for making those for me. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, you'll be getting that visual recognition plus the verbal recognition. You get double recognition if you do contribute during the course of the stream, okay? Sound good? All right, so just to get that started, let's go ahead and let's give some shout outs to those who have been cheering and everything during the course of this stream. Hold on a second here. Whoops. Laptop blocked up for a second there. Okay, let's scroll all the way down here. So, once again, oops, I gotta refresh here. Hold on. I was gonna say, once again, overnight, I believe we had 2 individuals who actually cheered overnight when I was not streaming, and I want to give them credit, but I have to refresh my screen here because my Muxie, for whatever reason, my Muxie doesn't update when my laptop's in standby. I have to refresh the screen, and then it gives me all the data from overnight. So hold on a second here. Okay, let's see. Whoa, so Golden Colts, he really has been the MVP in recent weeks when it comes to cheering. He did a good, I believe, 1,000-bit cheers overnight. I think he cheered about 1,000 bits. Thank you very much, Golden Colts, for your support. Again, when I'm not here, showing up and cheering, you are awesome. In addition, Boz2161 did an 855-bit cheer overnight. Thank you, Boz, for the support. You also have been someone who's been doing this, showing up recently overnight and cheering. I want to say shout out to you as well. You guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. Hope you enjoyed the stuff that I'm putting out, and I hope that it's obviously entertaining enough for you. It must be, because you keep coming back to support, right? Okay. Now, let's go here. Now, here's some cheers from today's stream. The first one came from Nick, who did a 10-bit cheer, and he said, Phil, I heard that Muxy has an alert for when people pledge to your Patreon. This is very possible. You may be correct, Nick. However, I can tell you this, it's at least not in the default setup for Muxy. And I know this for a fact because I just updated my Muxy on Monday, my pop-up alerts, because I was updating it for the Halloween stuff, the horror month stuff that Dr. Zombius had made. And so far, all I saw there was tips, follows, subs, and cheers. I did not see a new section for Patreon contributions or anything like that. But you might be right. What it may be is maybe there's an extension or a plugin that works with Muxy that updates it to have Patreon support. However, I would not want to do that, and allow me to explain why. Even though I think it would be beneficial if someone pledges to Patreon, they get like a visual recognition on my stream, right? That could be really awesome. At the same time, for those who don't know, my Patreon is set up much differently than many other people's. What I mean by that is my Patreon is set up that as soon as you pledge to it, you get charged immediately to avoid trolling. Unfortunately, back in 2015, when I first started using Patreon, we had some dumbasses who were going there and doing fake pledges, and it would be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So they'd come and say, oh, $500 fake pledge. So it would look like I got an exorbitant amount of money pledged to my Patreon. And then on the day before the month would end, when they would actually get charged, they would remove the pledge. So I had to set it up so that basically if you pledge to my Patreon, you get charged immediately. Okay. And then if you don't want to get charged that amount again on the first of the month when the recurring charges go through, you have to lower your pledge. So there's been many people over the course of, me doing it this way. It's been about over a year. Geez, what was it? Then I set it up. I think it was actually earlier 2016 when I had to do this because there was so much abuse of people doing fake stuff on Patreon, okay? Here's what would happen, okay? You would get a pledge. Oh, someone wants to do a big pledge. So it would say, Joe Splamoni has pledged $50 to Patreon, and there'd be an on-screen notification for that. But then, when Joe would say, oh, I don't want to do $50 again, so I'm going to lower my pledge for next month, then there would be another pop-up notification. Joe Splamoni has pledged $1 to Patreon, okay? So what you would have is repeated pledges popping up on the stream for a lot of people. And I see this because I get email notifications every time that a pledge changes. And there are some days when, like, say, someone can't decide what kind of pledge they want to do. It would actually create spam. And it actually wouldn't be accurate. So I'll give you an example. Let's say Joe pledged $50. And he says, all right, for my recurring pledge, I want it to be $20. Then he lowers it to 20, but then he decides, you know what, that's a little bit too much. I think I want to go a little bit more conservative. I'm going to go for the $5 level. Then it says 5. So now on one stream, you would see Joe pledged 50, Joe pledged 20, Joe pledged 5, 3 pop-ups. And that's just excessive and it's not accurate. Because in reality, all Joe pledged was the 50 for now. His next pledge would have gone through on the 1st. Okay? So, to avoid that kind of spam, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do Patreon plugins on the stream. If I had the other kind of Patreon that everyone else has, meaning, you don't get charged up front, instead you have to wait till the 1st of the month, and only new pledges would show up, then, folks, then I would do it that way. But sadly, because I am in a situation that's very different from most other people who use Patreon, I'm going to avoid doing that just to make my stream's way more viewable, okay, for everyone. Sound good? Fair enough, folks? Okay. Alright, so now let's continue with the shout-outs. Tyler JKU did a 10-bit cheer and says, let's get to the ass eating. Tyler, I hate to say this, you may be on the wrong stream. You may want to check. This is the DSPGaming stream. I'll be playing Shadow of War. This is not the, you know, the fucking Pornhub marathon ass-eating contest stream. Lisa Ann is not in my house to eat ass. So, yeah, you might want to change stream. Maybe go over to one of those titty streamers. Maybe they'll be eating ass today on stream or something. But I will not be doing that. Okay? Okay. Shout out to Octoa, who did a 50-bit cheer. And he says, I can't make any of the late night streams, but I'm looking forward to watching what I can on other streams and YouTube. That's right. Keep in mind, I should say this, ladies and gentlemen, because sadly, I'll be honest, sometimes I don't realize that I have a viewing audience of people who are new, okay? And it's true, because I see newcomers coming in all the time, and it's my fault because I get into a habit of doing things one way. What I should mention, ladies and gentlemen, is that every single gameplay stream that I do here on Twitch, I do not archive those streams on Twitch. However, I record those streams in segments, usually 10 to 15-minute parts, and I upload all of those to my YouTube channel, DSPGaming, after the stream is over. So if ever you cannot make a live stream, but you want to be caught up on an ongoing playthrough, or you want to see, oh, I can't make it for the Evil Within 2 tonight, but I definitely want to see that gameplay, my YouTube channel is DSPGaming, okay? Over 45,000 gameplay videos have been uploaded to the channel since 2010. Over 7 years of constant gameplay coverage of all the hot AAA releases. I certainly hope you'll give it a look if you haven't yet, ladies and gents. Even though my focus is on live streaming and the live streams, and those of you who are here for the live streams, you know, I have a 7+ year legacy on DSPGaming that obviously I would like to continue, so please check it out. All right? Sound good? Okay. Shout out to Nick, who did another 10-bit cheer, and he says, Twitch can auto-split the archives to YouTube in 15-minute videos. Yeah, I think I know how to do that. I think I've seen that. The problem is, if you do that, Twitch automatically uploads the videos to YouTube, automatically, without properly adding, say, for example, the proper title, all the proper info. Like, I think you can set it up ahead of time, but I wouldn't be able to say, oh, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. It would all be uploaded as, like, the same name and everything. And that obviously would create problems. And obviously, I want to have everything set up properly on YouTube before the videos go live. So more than likely, what I'll do instead of that is I'll just create the archive. And then that night, when I'm done streaming, I'll go to the archive and I'll split it. You can manually create what's called highlights, 30-minute highlights. And those highlights can then be exported as video files to YouTube. I think that's what I'll do. I'll have to do it manually so that way I know they're all titled and everything properly. Vertigo Tea Party says, well, you could set it up to upload as private. That's good. The problem with that, and I already know this for a fact, if you upload a video to private on YouTube, and then you set it to public, no notification goes out to anyone that it went live. So, if I did set it up and say, oh, let's do 13 videos automatically upload to YouTube all private, and then I can title them properly on YouTube, when I set them public, no one will see them. They don't show up in anyone's feed that I uploaded them. Unless they've changed it, but that's what used to happen to me. So, I don't know. I could be wrong. But that did used to happen to me before. I've done that before, where what I would do is upload a bunch of videos as private, and then I would make them public. This actually happened a long, long time ago. I had a Halloween special, a whole playthrough that I did in advance of Halloween. This is before I live streamed. And I made it all uploaded as private. Okay? And then, when I made them public, no one knew I had made the playthrough public. Nobody. Everyone was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, no, it's right here, look. And I would link them the playlist. They were like, oh, well, now we could see it. But we never saw it on your channel. So, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. We'll see. I am going to do more shout-outs to people who cheered and subbed, but I do want to say this. Zombie Beer just made an important point or an interesting point in the stream chat, and I want to address it because I noticed it myself. He said, Phil, when you're uploading fighting game videos, in particular Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, the thumbnail almost always shows the winner of the match, and therefore you're spoiling the match. Can't you fix that? The answer is no, and here's why. Because YouTube auto-picks thumbnails, and for whatever reason, for MVC Infinite, it almost always picks the final results screen. Meaning every match I've uploaded of MVC Infinite, it'll give me 3 options for thumbnails, and all 3 are result screens. I'm not exaggerating. It's bullshit. YouTube's thumbnail selection system is terrible. Certain games in particular, it picks the most annoying thing. So that's the problem, is I can't change it, you know. Even if I change it, it's another result screen. So it's just YouTube being shitty. Sorry about that. Alright, shout out to Ratchafan, who tipped me $3. Thank you, Ratchafan, for the tip. He says, hey Phil, I've been enjoying the Middle-earth Shadow of War playthrough so far. I've been watching the videos on YouTube. Keep up the awesome work. Looking forward to the Evil Within 2 tonight. Me too. Me too. I hope it's good. The first game was good, but not as good as everyone expected. It was kind of a little bit disappointing. And the reason it was disappointing was everyone was expecting the evolution of survival horror. Everyone was expecting the Evil Within 2 to be this new groundbreaking horror franchise. And in a lot of ways, it really was just kind of the run-and-gun gameplay of games like Resident Evil 4 and 5, combined with gore and a little bit of psychological horror. It wasn't necessarily anything that was like, wow, it's so different from other games that we've played. And I think that's what disappointed people, especially because this was the standalone franchise from the game developer of Resident Evil. You know, the original creator decided to make this franchise as his next franchise. And a lot of people would have that issue. Okay? And, I agree there. I liked the game, but I didn't love it. I enjoyed playing it. I thought it was a good playthrough. People liked watching me play it, but I didn't necessarily fall in love with the game. The DLCs they released actually answered more questions about the plot that were left open from the original game, but then the gameplay of the DLCs wasn't so good. So, yeah, it was kind of like a double-edged sword. I don't know. But anyway, I'm looking forward to see what they do with this. The trailers for this game look pretty good. Like, it definitely looks like a lot more psychological horror this time around. I guess we'll find out together starting tonight, right? Okay. 47766 did a 10-bit cheer. He's his favorite porn star. Of course, my favorite porn star is Peter North. The long-time stud. The guy's ripped. He's banged hundreds and hundreds of chicks on film. Who wouldn't want to be Peter North? Come on. Of course. All right. Shout out to 47766, who did a 10-bit cheer and said, jokes aside, what's your favorite Rockstar game and favorite from the 7th generation era? Favorite Rockstar game? There's been some great Rockstar games, let's face it. Games such as, obviously, the Grand Theft Auto series, Bully, Red Dead Redemption, right? It's hard to put your finger on one and say, this is my favorite. I would say, for soundtrack selection and atmosphere, probably Grand Theft Auto Vice City, because I love the 1980s, okay? And I loved playing that game with all the music and everything. It was awesome. If you're talking gameplay mechanics, probably Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5. Both of them I felt were really good modernized games. Obviously 5 felt a little different from 4 because of the aspect of switching between characters and all of that. But Grand Theft Auto 4 was actually the first modern Grand Theft Auto game I ever played, and I actually really enjoyed it. That's one of the games that, quite honestly, during an era when I was quitting Street Fighter and trying to get back into the modern era of console gaming, that game sold me. Like, I played it, I was like, I can't believe how good this game is. Look at the characters, look at the plot, the voice acting, the graphics, the gameplay. It absorbed me into it. And I was like, I gotta play console games again, man. Forget fucking competitive Street Fighter. I gotta get back into gaming in general. Okay. Games for Days in the stream chat is saying for some reason they can't order a shirt from my Teespring store. Can they directly send me money? Well, I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to buy anything from the store. That's kind of weird. Unless you're in some territory where maybe they refuse to ship. I have no idea. you can always tip me. If you look below my stream right here on my Twitch page, there's a tips section amongst all the other information there, you know, all the links and everything under my stream. Click on that. It's a picture of me posing with Pokemon. It'll take you to the tips page, and you can either tip anonymously, or you can leave a message if you'd like to get a pop-up on the stream as well. All right? That's what I recommend. If you're trying to do it through other means, for whatever reason it ain't working, you can try to leave a tip. Okay? All right. My favorite game from the 7th generation, I have no idea, dude. There's too much going on. There's too much going on in regards to gaming. I mean, the 7th generation was last gen, right? I mean, there were so many good games. The Mass Effect franchise, the Grand Theft Auto games, BioShock, great multiplayer games. Dude, there was too much. There's no way I could pick one game. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Shout out to Tyler JKU, did a 55-bit cheer. He says, well, I came to eat ass, but this guy's okay, so I'll hang. Well, there you go. Instead of eating out of someone's sphincter, sit down and enjoy the Shadow of War stream, which is going to start momentarily here. Thank you to Nick, who did another 10-bit cheer. He says they definitely changed that private video thing. Maybe they did. You know, I haven't messed with it purposely. If I do upload videos ahead of time on YouTube, I schedule them to go live at a certain point, which is a totally different process than having them go private and then manually making them public. So maybe they did change the process. I just haven't messed with it. And then Wolfie Cruz did a 10-bit cheer, and he says, hi, Phil, I am late to the party. No, he says, am I late to the party? No, in fact, I'm literally just about to start. Just now, I'm about to start. So you came at exactly the right time. I just finished, I literally just finished the pre-stream shoutouts. Okay? So everyone, thank you for being patient. Thank you for being here for the pre-stream. I think it's time to play the game. Oh, hold on. One final cheer from 47766. I promise this will be the last one. He says, well, all right, what was my favorite Rockstar 7th gen game? I would say it's a triple... it's a triple threat tie between Grand Theft Auto 4, Red Dead Redemption, and Bully. Even though Bully was I think it was a 6th gen game, I played it in the 7th gen. I played the Xbox 360 version and really liked it. So I'm sorry, I'm holding it in there. I'm saying that it is one. There you go. Okay, everybody. That is it. Thank you very much. Let's now begin with Shadow of War. Sounds good? Shadow of War. I'm excited to see how it continues. You know, got story missions unlocked, and then we got to attack another fortress and then keep going. There's one more area to go to take over a fortress, I believe, for Act 2 before we head into Act 3. So, all right, let's do it. Thank you, everyone. Let's begin.